I'm curious if the music in the background is distracting or if you don't hear it at all.
I can barely hear it.
Okay, I'll just let it be. Well, this is fun. Thank you so much for inviting me on. I just discovered Haps TV last night, and I'm not even sure how I decided to follow you, but I did. And so I think I caught maybe one of your other broadcasts. I just did a little quick search and found you. But I love what you're doing. I was doing some music last night. Um,
Oh,
so
nice.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
have to
it's really
check that out 'cause I love music. In fact, I've written three songs, just the lyrics, and in order to leap out of my comfort zone when I was depressed last time, I sang them on social media on Periscope. I'd never done it before,
mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, that's a really
people,
wonderful way to go.
hi Chris, people like my voice apparently, but since I only know the three songs, because I had a head injury when I was 12, and so plus I lived on a mountaintop off grid for a very long time in Central Oregon,
Ah,
and we didn't have radio or anything, no TV, no nothing. So
mm-hmm.
I lost all of that. I don't remember all the songs. I can't sit and sing other songs. I only know my three.
Do you want to? Would you like to hear a song?
Yes, that would be
Okay,
awesome.
I'm gonna go turn off the music and grab my guitar. I'll just take me a second.
Oh, cool. I have two guitars, and one that's supposed to go to my son as soon as I get it fixed. And I want to learn how to play guitar so bad.
Oh, great. Yeah, I've been thinking that I've been doing some music with people where where like I'll play and they'll be playing along, but they're muted. And then we just take turns that way. And I think it's a great way to potentially teach a lot of people at once. I mean, I could probably be teaching 100 people. Or on here, I could be doing guitar lessons and just, but I think there's something to be said, like on Zoom, you know, I can get the feedback of having 100 people on at once. So anyway, it's something I'm playing around with. But one of the things I play covers. I do like I have hundreds of songs that I know, but one of my more favorite things to do is to just make up songs off the top of my head. And so
Oh,
I'll just
that's
do
fun.
that for you right here because it's kind of I feel like it jives well with your poetry and your you know your invitation to read poems. So they're much more poetic because I have to try to rhyme them and things. So here comes something. Let's see. It's morning time in Portland town. I'm checking out Haps TV. I've been invited to come on and tell you some of what I see. And what I think about this morning is it's a sunny day, oh yeah. I'm wondering where the winter went. I'm wondering where it went. 'Cause in Oregon, it's likely that we are gonna be a desert. I think there's no snow this January or February or March or maybe even April or May. I know we're gonna get some rain though. We're gonna get some rain. We're gonna get some rain, 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 rain. It's gonna rain. It's gonna be gray, just like it always is. But it's getting warmer. Oh, you know it is. It's gonna rain. It'll always rain here. The rain will be warmer and we'll be able to grow banana trees. There you go.
That was adorable. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. I'm just learning this platform, as I mentioned, and I'm so excited to see what can be done with it. I was part of the Blab world a couple of years back. I don't know if you got a chance to play with that at all, but it's like this.
Oh,
So,
nope, nope. I was living on a mountaintop in the middle of Central Oregon, um, in the Mitchell area. You know where Mitchell is?
no.
It's in between Prineville and John Day.
Oh, okay. Wow, that is really Central Oregon. Yeah, I've
But
spent some time. I've gone back and forth between Portland and Burning Man many times, and so I've traveled the route that goes down via Lapine and Paisley and Lakeview, and then further south to Cedarville and that route. So I know that route really, really well. But I mean, Central Oregon is such a beautiful area.
well, you've heard
Really,
of the Painted Hills, right? You know where those
I
are?
have. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I've been there.
the mountain that I lived on, if we went to the very top of the mountain, which was on my father-in-law's property, you could look over the edge and see miles and miles and miles, and
Mm.
we overlooked the Painted Hills. So if you were at the Painted Hills, you were within a couple of miles of where I lived.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, really
Your sister
beautiful.
lived in Ashland? Nice. You want to come up? I'll invite you up. But we lived with no electricity and no water because the property that he bought was supposed to have a well on it, and the other
Mm.
neighbor rezoned his property and took the well. So
Huh.
we had to haul our water from 70 miles away, and groceries were 70 miles away, doctors, the whole bit, everything was about 70 miles away. They had a
Wow.
little teeny they had a little teeny store in Mitchell, but unless you were unless you had a way really good income, you couldn't afford to shop there.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah, it was quite an adventure.
And where are you now?
I'm in Sandy,
Oh,
not
great.
far from Portland. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's why I think you must have followed me in the last little while because I saw that I
Yep.
remember seeing something about Sandy and I thought, oh yeah, it's beautiful out there. I was curious, did you get affected by the wildfires much?
Yeah, actually, we were displaced. The
Mm.
wildfires were close enough that it was recommended that we leave, and so I left and went up to Washington State and stayed with my daughter for a week.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, because in Portland, we were well aware that the fires were coming towards us, and I know the Sandy area really well because I do a lot of camping up along 46, and I'm a big fan of Brighton Bush and things. Hey, I think it's time for me to have some more coffee, but I so appreciate you bringing me on, and it's really nice to meet you, and I hope I will join you again.
I would love that, and I hope to see you live soon too.
Sounds good. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. If anybody else wants to come up, you're welcome to. Um, if I get really brave, I could sing you one of my songs that I wrote. There's no music because I don't know how to play my guitar yet. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the award. I'm like leaping out of my comfort zone as bullied over on Periscope. Like in 2 weeks, I had like 4 or 5 people come after me or my friend that they didn't like as much, and I quit going live. So this is my leaping out of my comfort zone, making myself go live uh, at this very moment. So welcome, and you're welcome to come up. Just let me know if you want to come up. But I'll really leap out of my comfort zone and see if I can get myself relaxed enough, and I'll sing you one of the songs I wrote. You guys ready? Hello. Okay, okay. So I have 3 songs. One is called "Missing You," but I'm gonna change the name to that one. One is "Homeless Pain," and one is um, River of Tears. And if you guys have a preference, I will sing whichever one you want. Although I know you haven't heard any of them because I haven't sung them on Haps yet. Okay, okay. So I'll sing the one that people like the most, which is "Missing You." For some reason, I was missing my soon-to-be ex-husband. Um, he was kind of abusive and abandoned me homeless. And so there goes the reason for not having much confidence and being so nervous about being alive. Okay. Okay. Don't break my heart if I choose to give a piece to you. Don't tear it apart, making me so very blue. And if my heart breaks, what will it mean to you? And when will my heart heal from the memories of missing you? And when my tears fall and I cry for you, will you come hold me and heal my wounds? Will you come back to me soon and hold me forever so I'll stop missing you? Come back to me, baby. My heart is telling me to love you forever. Please don't set me free, for my heart will forever cry should you ever leave me. And when my heart starts to cry, will you just sit and watch it die? And when my tears fall and I cry for you, will you come hold me and heal my wounds? Will you come back to me soon and hold me forever so I'll stop missing you? You are my destiny, meant only for me. I love you so, baby. Come back to me. And go. Oh, now I'm blushing again. So that's one of the songs that I wrote. I hope you liked it. Does anybody want to come up and share some of their talent? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say. That's so nice of you to say. I see. I need to learn how to play my guitar. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not singing like as good as I usually do because I'm nervous and when you get when you're hurting inside, your belly like contracts and you get all stiff inside. You can't sing as good. But that's one of my songs. Um, I suppose I could sing another one since nobody wants to come up. Thank you. Thank you. Um, River of Tears is a song that I wrote while in that depression before I leaped out of my comfort zone and went on social media and sang it. Um, and it's a very feeling. It's got a lot of pain in that song, but it's very therapeutic. I think. Yep, I agree. Music is very healing. Okay, River of Tears. Let go of your tears, allow them to flow. Each tear a reward for the hardships you've won. Tears cleanse the soul and helps the hurt go. Every tear a release, so let your tears flow. Let them flow like a river all the way to the sea. Let your tears deliver you and set your soul free. When you're sad and all alone, don't hide it away. You must feel it to gain. Let them fall where they may. Let them fall like the rain that nourishes the tree. Every precious drop, then fall to your knees and thank the world for your testimony. Give yourself freedom by setting tears free. Let them flow like a river all the way to the sea. Let your tears deliver you and set your soul free. Hi, welcome. So that's my second song that I wrote. A lot of you don't know my story yet, and part of my story has to do with the fact that my husband abandoned me homeless. He had a mental illness that we didn't know about, and I followed him into homelessness, and then he abandoned me there. And while I was homeless, my son, who'd been missing a very long time, I didn't know he was alive for 15 years. And one day my daughter called me. I was visiting my parents, and she told me to turn the news on, and they were doing a story on the fountains in downtown Portland. And there was a homeless man putting water in his shirt down his pants. It's very hot, and it was my son. And so once my husband abandoned me homeless, and I started a Facebook page to try to find him a couple of months before, and I was living in someone's backyard in my motorhome, and something told me I had to go to the store. And I hadn't been eating anything. My cupboards were completely filled with food. But I had this overwhelming feeling that I had to go to the store. So I listened, and I got dressed and walked out the door and down to the end of the little street that I was on. And across the street was a Safeway. I think it was Safeway. And when I looked across the street, the main street to cross over, my son was running down the sidewalk. A few seconds sooner, and I would have passed through, and I wouldn't have known he would have passed behind me. And a few seconds later, he'd have been down the street because he was running, and I'd have never found him. So this is a huge miracle in my life. And there's a page called My Schizophrenic Son on Facebook that has everything documented because I started it a couple of months before I found him. There's pictures, the very first selfie that I ever did with him, because he was missing since he was 17, and he's 42. When I found him, he was over 40, so or almost 40, because it took me 7 years to save him, get him off the street. He's schizophrenic and was using meth. He's a 25-year meth addict who was using meth to feel normal. And now he is medicated. We just celebrated his first 6 months of sobriety. He's living with me, and I'm trying to take care of him. We're in a little teeny tiny 1-bedroom low-income housing apartment at the moment. I have some disabilities myself, and because of my head injury, and because of the childhood sexual abuse and the rape and the different things that happened to me in life, has caused me to have PTSD really bad, and other things, depression and all that stuff. So I have used my creativity to heal myself, and I continue to do that every time it shows up. Hi, Vince. I'm being brave and going live. So, so this song that I'm gonna, this last song that I have to sing to you has to do with the story of being homeless and my son being homeless and some of the things that he told me happened to him. Hi, while he was homeless and some of the things that happened to me. So this is all about a real experience and the feelings that I felt while I was homeless. It's called Homeless Pain. I hope you like it. I don't want to be homeless anymore. My family have shut all their doors. I am tired of sleeping in the rain. I need a break from this homeless pain. Every day I wake up afraid that someone will come just to raid and take the little that I have without a handshake, smile, or even a wave. Now I'm left to wander about with pain and hunger, no doubt. Everything I had is now gone. The person I was is done. Now people see me as just a bum with no place to have any fun. They even took away my favorite dog, and I'm stuck in a homeless fog. Why don't any of you care? I just need a place to wash my hair and a safe place that I can sleep and a few things that I can keep. 'Cause I don't want to be homeless anymore. My family have shut all their doors. I am tired of sleeping in the rain. I need a break from this homeless pain. Honey, I need a break from this homeless pain. So that is my song about being homeless, and I want it to be a voice for the homeless. I sang it one time on social media, and someone who's in a homeless group shared it there and said, "Oh my God, this should be our national anthem for the homeless." It was really awesome, but I can't make music to go with it, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. But those are my 3 songs that I've written so far. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Carrie. Carrie, would you like to come up? I'm going to invite you to come up and you can sing if you'd like. Um, there we go. I would love for you to come and sing on my live. That would be so amazing. Thank you. Having you tell me that my song is beautiful is really amazing. I sang all 3 of my songs that I wrote. Um, if you want to hear the other ones, you'll have to watch the replay. Oh, you're eating? Okay. Okay. Well, maybe next time, maybe another time you can come on and sing a song for us. That would be amazing. I would love to feature you in one of my scouts, in one of my live videos and interview you and have some fun. Uh, awesome. Do a duet. I would have to learn a song first because living in Central Oregon and not having electricity for the first 3 years we had no electricity because we had no money. We were living on food stamps, and my husband would work for my father-in-law enough for gas money so that we could go get groceries a couple times a month. And so we had no phone service. Um, if you wanted to walk to the top of the hill, you could use the phone, but a lot of times it was really windy and almost got blown off that hill a few times. And that was quite a walk. Thank you. I'm having fun at this moment, and I'm glad that you're here with me. You've made a difference in my day, so thank you very much. I appreciate you a lot. I appreciate you a lot. When you're going through a depression, you feel like you're the only person on the planet, even if you're surrounded by 1,000 people. And it's the people that reach out, say hello, and give you like a hello hug, I guess I could call it, that make a difference, and it helps people get back up, and it helps them remember that they're important to someone. So thank you. That means a lot. Oh, thank you, Katie, for subscribing to me. I appreciate that. I'll be telling stories about living up in, off grid, um, and see um, after about 3 years, I got my disability and I bought solar panels. Um, I was able to like rent movies or go buy movies and such, and I got all the kind of movies my husband wanted. Not really the ones I want to watch, but mostly the ones he wanted to watch. So, but I still couldn't have TV or a phone inside my house or anything like that. And Vince, I wasn't in the gutter. I wasn't in the gutter. Okay, I wasn't a drug addict. I wasn't a drunk. I wasn't in the gutter. Okay, I was in a motorhome in the backyard of somebody. And when I was with my husband, he would drive us around, and we would go park places that were okay. Um, oh, thank you. That means something to me. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Um, the night the first week that my husband abandoned me homeless, um, the next day my sister drove her husband drove my motorhome to someone's backyard, and I was alone. Uh, my family wouldn't let me in, and I don't know why. And his family, my husband lied to his family um, about about how I took care of him, and because he's narcissistic, and so I had nobody, and I had to do it by myself in the middle of a big city. And the first night that I found Periscope, I found Vince, and he sat there and listened to me cry for hours, and that helped me make it through that one night. And then I was working on getting back up, and I would walk around the block, and the more pain I was in, the more that it hurt, the faster I would walk. And I lost 50 pounds while I was doing that. And then right after that, I found my son, which gave me a whole new thing to work for. I started a small business called Funky Commercials, and was trying to get that started right before COVID hit. And right before I was able to get my son off the street. I fought the county because they told me I couldn't do it, and they wouldn't support me. The police weren't supporting me and helping me. Instead, they were kicking my son out of where he was camping at and taking all of his belongings. And we would have to try and find some more tents and sleeping bags and stuff for him. They even took his medicine before. Uh, I ended up, in order to keep my son safe while I was trying to get him to my apartment, I moved out of my mom's into this apartment so that I would have a place for my son to go. And then, since my son had a misdemeanor on his record, they made him wait a year before they would let him in. So, about 6 months of that year, I lived in my car with him to keep him safe until he was medicated. Um, and he chose to be medicated all on his own because he had a mom who gave up everything for him. Oh, thank you, Vince. That's a really, really big compliment. Thank you. Um, And so all of that's documented on a page called My Schizophrenic Son on Facebook. If you want to look at all the stories, there's a selfie of my son and I the day I found him, and a lot of the stuff that we went through is on that page. I documented everything because I want people who help others who are homeless to be able to look at that, and maybe learn something or find some kind of a nugget that they can use to help somebody else. That's what I did that for. I want people that want to know about what it's like to try to save someone who's homeless. Excuse me, and what you go through, and what you're up against. And I actually risked my life to save my son's life. Um, and I had to call the police, and they had to rescue me, like on TV, when they've got a hostage situation and whatever. My son was coming off of meth, and if it wasn't for the fact that I was in the abandoned house that used to be, I raised my kids in that house for a part of the time. It was on my mom and dad's property. There was no electricity, no water. The first few nights I slept on the bare floor with a lot of mice and rats and bugs, because nobody lived in that house for a long time. And I was terrified. I was terrified. I don't know if you've ever been all alone and slept on a bare floor in the middle of the night, heard rats and mice running around all about you. You don't get much sleep, and you wake up the next morning and you can barely walk because it's really painful, especially if you're as old as I am. And my son went crazy and told me he was going to kill me, and kicked and screamed. And my bedroom that I was in, I went in and locked myself in there, and my brother had put this really thick outside type door on that bedroom with one of those locks one of those kind of locks, because he had his medicines in there and didn't want his kids to get in there. So he wanted to be able to lock his room and know that his kids would never get in there and get into his medicine, hurt themselves with it. So if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be here, because my son went crazy and was kicking and screaming at the door and telling me he was going to kill me. And so I sat on my bed and I cried. And I've never cried happy tears and sad tears ever at the same time, but that's what I was doing, because it was the end of what was for my son's life, and the beginning of something new. Because in order to help someone who's too sick to know that they need the help, there has to be proof that he's a danger to himself or others, or the county will not help them. The courts will not make him get medicated. They will not make him get medicated. Let me say that again. They will not make him get medicated unless he's a danger to himself or others. Now, the fact that he was half starved and had sores head to toe and was killing himself with meth, that doesn't qualify. And so it took about a half an hour for him to let me go, and I grabbed my dog and my purse and my medicines and whatnot, and ran out the door as fast as I could go into the arms of the police. And I told them that my son was coming off of meth, and he's having some sort of a breakdown because of his schizophrenia. And they thanked me profusely for telling him that, and they told me that they're going to wait a couple of weeks and then come back and arrest him, because he's in psychosis. And if they went in after him, it was so bad that if they went in after him right now, they would have to kill him. They didn't want to. So the police saved my son's life and my life that day. And so when I say I risked my life to save my son, I meant it. Literally. It was very, very terrifying. But because I did that, they put my son in jail and then in the hospital and medicated him and then put him in a group home. And then they did something really stupid, which this took about, I don't know, a year altogether. a year and a half altogether. In the middle of a snowstorm, see, they put him in his own apartment with nobody telling him to take his meds, so he stopped taking them. He's schizophrenic. That's what schizophrenics do. So he stopped taking his meds, and they kicked him out in the middle of a snowstorm. I didn't know until he was already kicked out. They took all of his belongings and put it in storage, and his payee was paying that bill, uh, and we're still trying to get his stuff out of storage. And and then he was kicked out in the middle of a snowstorm. So after that, it took me a year and a half to get him off the street because my apartment complex wouldn't let him in, which is why I moved out of my mom's house and over here. When they said there's an apartment available, my mom said, you have to take it because you can help save Terry. Because he wasn't allowed to be at my mom's house. Everyone in my family's afraid of his schizophrenia. And legitimately so. Legitimately so. So I lived in my car about 6 months out of that, or a little more. Yes. That's just part of my story. Um, and I have fibromyalgia, and I have a place in my back that is super painful with arthritis, or I was told I had disappearing disc disease in my back, but the last doctor said he thinks it's just arthritis. I don't know, but it's very, very painful. And sometimes I can't even do dishes. I can't sit up. I can't do nothing because that part of my back is so painful sometimes. But here I am working on trying to take care of my son. He moved into my apartment about 4 months ago, and we're celebrating 6 months clean from meth. And living in my car was painful and scary, and I had to deal with the police harassing us all the time. And then eventually, I finally got it through to the police what I was trying to do. And after they figured out that I'm not hurting anyone, my son's not hurting anyone, because they've dealt with my son a lot of times, and they really didn't like him all that much. But with their checking on us at night after they found out what I was trying to do, and they supported me in what I was trying to do. Finally, someone was on my side, and they would check on us in the middle of the night, make sure nobody was bothering us. And then my son got medicated, and he said, now that I'm medicated, I'm better. He takes these shots that he takes every 15 days. And so he doesn't have to remember his meds like I have to remember mine. So he takes a shot every 15 days, and he took it because I told him about this shot, and then it would really make me happy if he would just try it. So he got really brave, because that's one of his fears. When you're schizophrenic, that's a big fear for schizophrenics. And he started getting the shots, and it changed everything. Changed everything. It was really amazing to watch my son's brain turn around from being in psychosis all the time. He had been in psychosis a lot because he's legally blind without glasses, and he hadn't had his glasses for over a year, 2 years, because they broke, so he couldn't see more than 2 feet in front of him. So he was stuck in this psychosis. He couldn't look out and see anything in the outward world. All he had was what was in here. He was in really bad shape. I know for a fact, if I had not done what I did, my son would be dead. I know that. My son was starving. He had sores from head to toe. His liver is all messed up from doing the drugs. The police have tased him before while he's having an episode, so forth and so on. This was horrible. He's been beat up out there by other people when he goes to get his check. So he has money to live on. He's had somebody who had a ball bearing attached to a chain come up behind him and hit him in the head with it, knock him out, steal his money. People would steal his things while he's sitting right there next to his things. because he was blind and couldn't see. He couldn't tell the police who took it. He couldn't get it back. He didn't know who it was that was constantly stealing from him. He was taunted and teased and tortured by everybody, including the police. I do not know how my son lived through all of that, but my husband would never let me find him. And it wasn't until my husband abandoned me homeless that the biggest miracle of my life happened, and that was finding my son. And God gave me what I needed so that I could save him. And now he's working on saving himself, and it's amazing. He's having cravings right now that he's trying to deal with. Um, he's trying not to fall back to his meth because his brain is telling him that he needs it, he needs it, he needs it. But he's trying to fight that. I don't know how well he's doing because he knows if he tells me that he's doing meth again, it will freaking kill my heart. So he has a psychiatrist helping him with that. So um, that's what's going on right now. That's where we are as far as my son is concerned. Now, for myself, I was bullied really bad by several people because they don't like who I care about because he's from a different country. He's not the same color as me, and he's young and he's younger than me. So um, they decide that he's catfishing and they did some horrible things to him. Which I had to block a whole bunch of my people that were my friends. And right now, my sweetheart friend and I are not getting along, so I'm really sad. But I'm determined to be up no matter what happens in my life. Um, but I lost all those friends that I was with all the time on Periscope that I hung around with a lot. Um, because I wasn't going to allow them to bully my friend or me. And then I also got bullied in that process. And that's like 4 or 5 people bullied all in the 2 week period of time. And I quit going live. So here I am trying to force myself to get out of that. Um, Trying to be the warrior that everybody sees me as. All my friends on Facebook decided I was warrior. So that's where warrior woman and warrior grandma and all of that came about, was because my friends on Facebook named me that. I didn't name myself. Anyway, so that's all of that. So now you know a whole bunch about me. Um, I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and rape. And a rapist hit me in the head with a rock when I was 12 and gave me some sort of brain issues. Uh, and so my creative side kicked in, and um, and I started writing poetry when I was 12 um, because part of me disappeared when I got hit in the head. Part of me that used to be there disappeared, and I've never been able to have it back. So my brain is finding different ways. My heart is involved a lot more because of that. And my heart guides me, and my brain doesn't do a whole lot of guiding. Um, I have to really sit and concentrate and think uh, because the head injury took a lot away from me. Uh, and so the fact that I've done what I've done in my life so far is amazing to me. I also published my first book after my husband abandoned me homeless, and it's called Pain Has No Boundaries, and it's a um, it's a book of poetry on childhood sexual abuse. I wrote it while I was in my 20s. I wrote poetry instead of a journal, and I put it in a book because I was told that by a professor in California that my book needed to be published that would help millions of people, not just by them reading my book, but because I, I'm, I'm making a new pathway for those that need to heal. Because now there's going to be others that follow behind and write their own poetry and publish their own work. and open up another avenue for people to heal, which is amazing to me. He said my name's going to go down in history because I invented the genre for poetry. That's what he told me. So I published it. It's really scary, but I did. I self-published. So if you're interested in checking that out, it's on Amazon. Just look up Pain Has No Boundaries and you'll find it. Okay, that was a lot. So I'm gonna get going, and thank you for everyone who came and commented, and all of your awards and stuff. I really appreciate you, and your friendship is most important. I love you all. If no one has told you today that they love you, then let me be the first. I love you very much. Have a really good day.